Well, here we are on the Whitby again. A bit of an update on what's been happening. I wanted to give you a major update, but there have been some developments. First of all, since the last video, I have done triple safety lines all the way around the boat, pelican hooks on the walkthroughs for the 3 mounts there, pelican hooks on all them done as well. So that goes all the way to the bow of the boat, as you can see, and to the stern, to the new stern rails that I had installed that you saw in the last video. But what you didn't see was these davits. Now there was an old radar tower sitting in the yard that came off a Hunter, mid-2000s Hunter, 33 footer or 32 footer, something like that. I was able to acquire that and cut it up and make these davits out of that radar tower. And so all the welding's done. I still got to clean it up a bit and clean up the sealant around the base of the feet and such, but they're bolted in, they're tight, they're strong, and now I just got to rig it to be able to lift a dinghy. So that's what's been happening there. That's the major progress on the outside of the boat since you last talked. Now on the inside of the boat, I was talking about having to do the exhaust. I had already cut, welded and shaped the exhaust 3 times to get it into the right spot. And by the time I had done and looked across to where I wanted to put the exhaust hose, I found the exhaust hose was at the same height as the loop off the back of the engine. So that meant I then had to cut it all back out again and start over. I'll show you what I've done. Now here we come into the engine room. Let me step in here. All right. Now I'll sit here and you'll see now off the back of the engine here we've got the hoop coming across here. There's a flexible hose to another 90-degree loop up here, and the hoop part of the engine, which you'll see here's the other end here, okay, and up at there it goes about 2 feet up higher and just simply goes over 180 degrees. This stops water from backflowing back into the engine because it stops up against this hoop that's 2 foot higher than the rest of the hose, as you can see there. When it was over here, it was much lower and only tucked in underneath there a little bit, and that actually ended up being the same height as the exhaust hose over there, which was no good. So I had to get another stainless piece, 90-degree piece stainless here that was fixated to this part of the exhaust, and then another 90-degree here, which is now also fixated to the hoop part. So problem avoided. I've been cleaning up in here a bit too. It still looks like a god-awful mess. I've pulled out more wiring, probably another 100 yards of old wiring. Pulled out excess hose. There's a piece over there I still have to pull away. This hose here and what was out of there was originally for the generator that was sitting in here. There was a 5,500 kilowatt generator, 5,500 watt generator, and that's all gone now because the generator was frozen solid. It had been sitting in here in water for a long time and it was no good, so I just decided to throw it out and scrap it. And what else have I done? There's not much else going on inside the engine room here. We've seen the grow watt before. This is my new inverter, solar panel unit and such. It's all in one self-contained, has a readout screen there, and yeah, it will be up and running soon enough. I put this fuse box in here. So far I've got the fore and aft bilge pumps connected to that. I've put new bilge pump systems in, brand new, in the stern of the boat, which is behind this wall here and down in the bilge. And then I have another one in the saloons area, which is in the bilge area below the steps here, which goes down about 2 feet below this board. I won't show you that, but yeah. The next major project was to get the main mast wired and fitted out with all the parts that I wanted. And what I had been doing was collecting new LED downlights for the spreader to become the spreader lights. And I got a new, basically a backstay for the boom itself. This is what this was going to become. That was going to go on the mast as well. I also picked up this wind speed and wind direction indicator, brand new. This was to go on top of the mast. It's a wireless unit. It's made by NASA Clipper is the name of the company in England. It's a very nice unit. It has a solar panel in the top because this is wireless. I don't have any cable to put in. The battery itself lasts, in constant use, about 2,000 hours. On standby lasts 15,000 hours. That's if there's no solar power charging it. So that thing is basically self-contained and will last years up on the top of the mast. I actually like that unit quite a lot. So put that back in there so it doesn't get damaged. And yeah, that's the clipper cover for the unit when it goes up in the cockpit. I also have a knot speed indicator coming as well, also from Clipper, because the one that's in the boat, the wheel broke out of it, the cable rotted away, so I'm just going to replace the whole system, put a whole brand new unit in with a new head unit as well, so make it look much more modern. Nothing much else to show you in here. Now the reason I haven't put all this stuff up on the mast, because today I went up on the bosun's chair and I discovered an issue. If we come over here, the mast, first of all, you'll notice there's a dark rail on the back edge there, and I've started taking that off because it had external slides on it for the mainsail, and I'm going back to slug slides. The slide is still in the mast, so I'm just going to go back to slug slides on that. So I was taking that all out. Once I reached up there to the let me go to the front of the boat, because the bow, that sun is in the wrong position for me to film. So what happened was, I got up to the spreaders. Well, let's see if I can zoom in and show you what happened. Alright, now you'll notice where those rigging cables go to a plate just below the spreader bar. That plate on either side, both are cracked through. One is 3/4 of the way cracked through, one's 1/3 of the way cracked through. As soon as I saw that, I understood the mast has to come down and replace those plates. So today I've been pulling all the rigging cables off. They're all hanging there. I've got one rigging cable on this side, one rigging cable right here. That's to come down, and this mast is ready to lift out. As you can see, the roller furler is hanging free as well. It's a pain, it's money, it's time, it's just another snag. But with the mast down, I can put all the new spreader lights in, I can check the wiring, I can do the anchor light way up the top, as well as put the new wireless wind direction speed indicator in. The steaming light, I can check that out as well. I'll end up doing it all on the ground. So when the mast goes back in, all I have to do is plug and play. Alright, so that's the latest update on the boat. I had been hoping to give you a video soon of the mast set up and ready to go. That has turned out not to be true. I have to step back, and I'm stuck here for a little while longer doing this work on the hard. Alright, so I hope you enjoy the video. We will talk again soon. Bye bye. Alright, here we are. I spent half an hour working with the guys, taking the main mast down. She looks so weird with only having the mizzen mast up now. But here's the main mast, it's on the ground, and I'll show you what the problem was down at the spreaders. First of all, I've decided I'm going to have to either get new lenses or replace this entire tricolour. That's one of the things I'm going to have to do. And the forward halyard is using a steel cable, but the pulley itself is frozen solid. The one on the other side spins as nice and loose. So that's the one's not a problem, but this one here is. So I'm going to have to do something about that as well. These brackets up here show a little bit of a rust stain, but there's no real corrosion in them. I think I should be able to get away with leaving them alone. These cables here, I'm a bit iffy about. They got a bit of rust stain on them, so I've got to consider what to do with these. The other cables showed no rust stains on them at all. It's only this upper area here. Radar reflector. Further down here to the spreaders. Now this is where the problem is. You'll notice right through in here, it's cracked right through on this side, almost all the way to the end of the weld, and it's cracked through there as well, halfway out to the other side here. And the other side isn't much better at all. Actually, this one might be worse. Oh yeah, this one's much worse. Well, on one side it's worse. You can see there. It's not looking good. So I'm going to pull these plates out, take these spreaders off, and I'm going to get all new plates made up, and I'm going to get them made out of double thickness stainless. That's like 1/16 of an inch thick. I'll go 1/8 of an inch thick. Why not? I can do it. I'm going to make it happen. And this god-awful mess here is the wiring for the spreader lights. Now, I didn't know that was there until I pulled the mast down, so I'm going to have to change all of that. I don't like that at all. That is a mess, and will corrode and so on and so forth. So that's to be done too. And this is the steaming light, this tiny little thing. I don't know what to do about that. I'll probably end up putting a bigger one of those on as well with an LED in it. That one doesn't cost too much to do. Man, these spreader lights, they're ancient. They're like off a 1930s vintage gangster's car. Yeah, they're coming off. I'm going to put LEDs on there as well. These cables here, I'm going to have to inspect these cables a bit more closely now that I can see up the top of them. Doesn't look very promising, does it? This one looks good. This one's nice. There's no corrosion in that one at all. I'll have to check around in the base here as well. That's where you got to check. Alright, so further down the mast, down to the base, that was sitting in the keel of the boat. There's a little bit of minor pitting here on the outside. It's not much at all, to be honest. And the edge is not eaten away. It's still solid. So that's going to take some very minor cleanup to make that good again. And I'm probably going to use a product called DevCon. I've got it there already. DevCon is used. We used it. It's a mil-spec product used in the Australian Air Force to repair corroded forgings that are used in the aircraft airframes, making those parts airworthy again. And if the DevCon can do that, DevCon will handle this. All it is doing is just filling in some minor pits. So that's what I'm going to do. So other than that, just fix the top of the mast, check the rigging again, put the new lights in, fix that halyard pulley, and those base plates, replace them, and maybe replace a couple of the rigging cables. We'll see about that, and then we should be good to go. Fingers crossed. Notice what type this is. I can cut brand new cable and use these fittings to screw on, because this type has a ferrule on the inside, and you screw it in tight and it grips the cable. Love that type. Makes life so much easier. Alright, that's the video for now. Probably make another one when the mast is ready to go back up again. Alright, bye for now.